As we see it in this world.
All right now.
Hey, y'all ain't scared, huh?
There you go.
Right now.
Yeah, this is As We See It. We about to get started with another episode of As We See It. Yeah, we with you with our co-host, Charisma tonight. We have a
Hey,
special guest.
people.
Yes. As we all right. Y'all listen here tonight. We're coming back to you live with As We See It. You guys know me, I'm McKinney. My co-host, Miss Charisma. Tonight, we have a very special guest by the name of Minister Martine Jackson.
All right, Minister.
She has
Hey,
a
everybody.
organization. I'm sorry, go ahead and speak to him, Martine.
I was just saying, hey, everybody. I love everybody.
All righty. So, just to give y'all a little brief information on her, she has a organization called Life for a Life. And tonight, under her Life for a Life heading, she wants to discuss accountability and our youth. So to start off, Martine, could you tell me a little bit about your organization and what led you to kind of go in that direction?
Well, my organization, we empower the youth in their decision making and its
Okay.
consequences.
Wow. Okay. So what's the concept? What do you mean by Life for a Life? What's the concept behind that?
To get it as simple and plain as they, one going in the prison system and one going in the grave. Life for life.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
All right.
Two for one.
Wow.
That's
Absolutely.
So you're saying that the consequences that that our kids are faced with today, if they don't make the right decision or accept accountability for their actions, is either life in prison or their life being taken.
Yeah. Or death. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a consequence.
Okay. So again, the subject is accountability and our youth. So Martine, I'm gonna let you start with what do you kind of mean or what's in your heart about accountability and our youth? Can you expound on that, please?
Accountability in our youth. It actually it connects the parent, the child, the community,
Okay.
the officials, it connects everybody.
Okay.
The accountability. And where we're missing it at, don't nobody want to take accountable. And when the child turn around, he's in a one-man cell with a red jumpsuit on, and that's when reality kicks in, and he don't know how he got there or why he got there.
Okay.
And they become suicidal and all those mental issues that they was battling, crying out or acting out. While they was out, no one was listening.
Right.
So when they end up in that space, all of it come crashing down on them at one time. They get suicidal, they get mental health, they don't want to live anymore. They get further and gain participation when they in the jail.
Right.
Nowadays they are actually dying in jail. They killing in jail. So it's a lose-lose situation all the way around the board. And the accountability part, it's time for parents to step up. It's time for police officers to step up. Stop just sitting behind a desk and calculating numbers. It's time to get back out in the community, have events. I like my organization. We started out having events in my hometown, Albany, Georgia. We were having events on each side of the city.
Albany,
and
All right,
Yeah, and
229.
I had a team, Tammy Jones, Don Jones, I had Remy, I had a lot of people, that started out with me.
Okay.
And the thing is with us, we was a 501c3.
Okay.
When God gave me the vision, it really supposed to be a movement.
I see.
At first,
Okay.
everybody needed to move. That
Okay.
was the message. That was the beginning of it, but,
Right.
we being in this humanity, in this skin, we want things to happen
Now.
rapidly or fastly. And
Right.
that might not be God's, plan,
Yeah.
Exactly.
but we did plant the seed. We did have events for kids. We did have powerful empowerment speakers come out and speak to the neighborhood, the
Okay.
community. We did have the DA.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Edwards, he came out and spoke. We had Chief Persley. He come out and spoke. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome.
Okay.
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 Well, when you talk about um people want things to happen rapidly, nowadays, if the first thing I believe is that when you have a movement, people have to they have to understand your vision in order for them to move forward. And
I
when
believe
people
that.
don't, when
I
people don't,
believe that.
when people don't understand your vision, they'll jump on board and they'll jump right off because
Absolutely.
they don't understand, they don't see what really needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I want to touch on accountability, but I want to stop 1 second, and I want to recognize one of my old classmates that's on with us now, Mr. Richard Lewis. Richard boy, how you doing?
Hey there, Richard.
There it is. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my boy Richard boy. So Richard boy has been
Richard
uh,
Lewis.
Richard
Mhm.
Lewis. Yeah, Richard boy or Richard Lewis. He go by the same.
Yeah, you know by
Yeah,
both.
yeah. There you go. There you go. So, yeah. So anyway, he Richard has done a stint of time, and we've been trying to bring him on and get him to talk a little bit, and he's anxious to communicate with the youth about some of the things that he wants to let them know to kind of change their ways a little bit. So we're going to ask Richard, as we kind of go on through the night, we're going to ask you to send out a chat, as anytime you can, and we'll just, since we can't hear your voice, we'll just hear your chat. You see what I'm saying, my brother Richard? Right, right. Okay. So I want to talk about a little accountability. Martin, who do you think um, should be held accountable? Because you named a few people. You said the system, the school, the
Mm-hmm.
parents. Could you kind of elaborate on the roles of accountability from person to person or place to place?
Well, let's start with home first then.
Okay.
Because basically, it start with home. It does not mean that the parent is a bad parent. It means there's a working parent trying to pay bills, trying to have, provide them a comfortable place to live, to provide
Right.
food or whatever. But sometimes parenting is more than that.
Okay.
You got to make sure your children are involved in health and you sometimes supervise activities, especially after school. You need to
Right.
know who your children are hanging with.
Right.
You need to know, where they go on their free time.
Right.
Little minor stuff like that can let them know that you're involved, and they don't have to make decisions on their own, and they don't
Okay.
have to fall over into peer pressure, want to be
Mm-hmm.
like their friend and do what their friends do. A
Okay.
lot of times we don't be neglect we don't know we're neglecting that area of their mental health and their
Okay.
and their lives, but we do. And
Right.
nowadays they just put something electronic in front of them and don't
Right.
even hold a conversation with them. So we're gonna start with home. Parents need to know where their children are. If they're under your roof and don't have their own responsibilities, you need to
Okay.
know who they are, where they are, who they're
Okay.
hanging with, and all of that. All of that is accountability for the parent is concerned.
Okay, now I'm gonna put a pin in home right there. We're gonna go to the next facet. So I want to kind of ask my co-host,
Okay.
Miss Charisma, what do you think about the home situation and what Miss Evangelist Martine Jackson had to say about that, Minister Martine Jackson?
I do believe that it starts in the home.
Okay.
I think that the problem that I see within our community is that who is in the home.
Okay.
And that's, to me, the first one of the first things that we got to get: who is in the home, who is raising the children. Because, like she said, what we have done now is we give them things to keep them busy, and we've got so caught up in this world of we want our kids to have so much more that there's nobody home. So, we can put them in all the activities in the world, but if it's nobody at home, because everybody trying to, chase a bag. And so therefore, ain't nobody home to raise them. What we doing now is not raising kids, we're maintaining children.
Wow.
And that's
and then some of them raised in single parent homes, and they got siblings, and they're the oldest sibling always have to bring the other siblings up. It's just like being pressured to grow up too fast. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And when they are pressured to do that, then they go to start seeking out, other influencers, that can accommodate how either they are feeling inside, or that make them feel more growner or older. It's just like they being pushed in survival mode. Yeah.
Minister Jackson, I want to ask you, what are some things that you think these kids can do to grow up too fast? What do you think there's something that they can do that kind of speeds them up? You think that may be too much for a certain age?
The number one thing that really just, touches me the most, and it echoes back, when I was coming up, society says, or this world system says, when you get a certain age, you grown. You know what I mean? When you get 17, you can go to jail. You 18, you grown. Get out of my house.
That's true. Yeah,
that's the truth. That's the truth.
That ain't true. I wouldn't
That's not true. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Until you're able to maintain your own, it is.
Right.
You're not grown if you ain't got your own. You ain't being responsible, or you ain't staying out of jail. You ain't getting all cased up. And we're gonna talk about the RICO law a little bit later. But society tells them they're grown before they're mentally and emotionally grown.
I want to say something to that, because when I grew up, the older gentleman would define to the younger man what it meant to be a man. Okay. When I grew up, it meant being a man. If you didn't have more than one woman, you wasn't no man. If you weren't sleeping with more than one woman, you wasn't no man. Yeah. If you weren't doing this or that and the other, you wasn't no man. Oh, if you can't beat this joker up, you ain't no man. You see? So it wasn't like they were telling me, oh, if you taking care of your family makes you a man. The family, being responsible makes you a man. So when I left out of Monroe, what I saw a man doing was pulling up in the Cadillac with music in it and picking up different girls every day. So that's what I want to do.
You must have saw the same thing
and get a package and go do that. And and take them to the Days Inn and have a pool party. That's what I told a man was. Yeah.
And a man not supposed to cry, so they go to internalizing those emotions, and they go to acting out in different areas. But a man, they can't teach you how to be a man if they wouldn't been taught how to be a man.
I get it.
They was really teaching you how to survive as a black man in the hood.
Basically. Right. But in my mind, I was told that would be a man.
Absolutely.
Right. So can you imagine when I get married, start having children, what kind of messing up I'm doing, thinking I'm being a man?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is sad. Yeah,
And vice versa for the women.
Right.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I just wanted to kind of, add to that a little bit, because I know from the male point of view, we were told a whole bunch of mess that when we was coming up.
Women too.
Absolutely.
What you mean? What
women too,
mean?
and we paying the price. We paying the price now that we got to grow up the same way a man paying the price when he got married, did not know anything. We had to pay the price when we got married because you walking in blind because nobody told you anything. Because you would start being told that the only thing a man was good for, and we've talked about this before, was money or to provide and taking care of you.
Okay.
And so that goes along when you saying these girls getting in the cars at Mara, because I saw the same things.
So that's
on that corner on Lippet.
That's another issue inside the home right there.
Right.
How am I supposed to look at my daddy and I see Billy Pollard in a Jag? Yeah. Yeah. I'm listening to Billy Pollard. He got a pocket full of money.
My daddy over there working at lights, and I'm seeing Big Willie, you know what I'm saying, coming through there and a Mercedes, him and Lana Newberry, you know. And just to be calling names, you know what I'm saying, I hate to be doing that, but this is what we was taught that was had going on.
Every name that I call, I respect each and every one of them brothers. I'm just telling you because they were victims, I was a victim too.
Right.
No doubt.
But all of it was a ball of survival mode.
It was.
We were already being suppressed as a people. Right. You know what I mean? We got tired of being suppressed. We got tired of that little once a month or that little twice a month, whatever they were giving us. Yeah. And the plan was to flood the streets with the cocaine to disband the home. Right. You know, the men started selling it. They started going to jail. Okay, that took the man out the home. Right. Then the mama started getting on it. Then the oldest child had to really just buckle down and raise the other kid. It was a trickling effect. It just was passed down, and everybody I know in my hood jumped straight off the porch in survival mode.
Yeah, first. Wait, but hold on. Let me ask you something. Where does survival mode begin and end? Because if I done got $250,000, I ain't in survival mode no more.
If you kept 250,000, now if you kept 250,000, you ain't in survival no more.
Well, I'm just saying, once you got it, what I'm saying is that at some point, survival mode may also transfer into greed, because I got caught in greed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. We get something, we say, well, I'm gonna do this till I get this, and then when you get that, you're gonna figure out a way to get more.
The fast it came, the fast it go. That's the way it was set up. That's the way it was set up to keep to popularize the populate the prison system, to get the mamas on it, to get the children out there selling, and it just went on and on and on. It was just like a liberty small fire that turned into an inferno that kept the jail's house packed, kept the dope man pocket fat. By the time he get caught, he got to pay a lawyer to even get out. It was all a part to disband the black family.
I get it. I see the point.
I want to ask a question. My thing. So now that we know these things, or do we know these things?
Right.
Do we keep using that?
No, that's just where the foundations were laid. It's more influencers out there now.
Okay.
Drugs is not the only influencer now.
Okay.
You got Twitter, you got IG, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got all of these, influencers
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think
that captivating the mind of your child
right.
with that paints fictitious picture
I
that this
got
is what life and being perfect or having is about.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask another
Not
question.
okay.
Go ahead. I think if I and stop me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think charisma was like asking, is that do we now that we have identified the problem, do we stop at the problem without having a solution?
Right.
I understand it, but no, we do. I mean, that's what we're here. That's what we're on here,
Right.
for.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because all of this need to be brought out. It need to be. It need
I
to
like
get
that.
out there.
I
You know
like
what
that
I'm
insight.
saying? And
Right.
whoever wants to come and join with ideas or with whatever
Thank you.
organization or
Right.
whatever they got going
Okay.
on, let's
Right.
make a coalition of this thing to say,
Right.
well, let's do whatever it takes to save our children.
Community.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because
And the
now,
reason I can speak so passionate about it, I was one of those children,
right.
Mm-hmm.
that parents didn't listen to. When I was
Right.
coming up, they would tell me, your parents would say, don't do as I do, do as I say. So
Right.
that shut me down. So I acted out in other ways.
I
But
get it.
nowadays, we are losing them to death
Right.
and prison for the rest of their life.
Well, see, now let me ask you.
That's a
something.
whole nother arena.
No, you're right. But the I think the answers that I needed that I didn't get, that the real answers was laid at the feet of my father that I needed. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you got like even with answers that lay at the feet of your mother for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you got a mother like my mother, she's not afraid to go to the store because of the Ku Klux Klan or any white person. She's scared of people that look just like her.
Exactly.
So how are we gonna get the knowledge? We talking about the youth are dying, yeah, but we're also putting a muzzle on the knowledge that we need to help move on because they're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? We got to stop telling them what they're not, first of
Right.
all, and tell them what they are. There's the difference. They can pop on TikTok or whatever. But see what these rappers ain't telling you, Snoop Dogg and all them were Crips or whatever. They had an influence. You know what I'm saying? The music was an influencer for them. So they started developing as they got older. They started developing gifts and talents. Meaning, all of our children, everybody, God has no respect of person. We got to get to the inner man, in order to bring those gifts and talents out.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I hear and I agree wholeheartedly. I guess this is the thing with it. From what I see, is that because it is a lot more. They have the access to the internet now. But because see, this is what I see.
Okay.
I see that parents have allowed allow somebody else to raise their kids, whether it's the internet or Pookie or Ray them.
Right.
It's as if they want to live their lives and not actually physically raise their own children. That's what I see. It's almost as if the parents are putting a blame somewhere.
That's where accountability come in, because like you say, all these influencers, I call all of these things are influencers because they are influencing them more than the parent or adults are influencing them. They
go ahead, Martin. I'm sorry.
They are gravitating to something that they can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some when children have been told they are grown, when they are being able to, now we got the weed, the loud, and whatever else out there now, lean,
Mm-hmm.
all kind of stuff
Yeah.
now, and you don't
Zaza.
told that, and
Yeah.
the child is grown, or been told that it's grown
Right.
because of a bag. If you can get your
Mm-hmm.
own money, you can
Oh
do
yeah.
what you want. Oh no. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
Right.
saying? If
Right.
Right.
you could get your own bag, then you grown, you could do what you want to do.
Right.
But
Right.
then time you trying to tell them something right to do, they gonna switch that back around and you can't tell me what to do. I get my own bag, I pay
Mm-hmm.
my own way, blah blah blah. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's like it's like it's coming back to the parents as everything that they don't throw at these kids and made
Yeah.
them believe that they throwing it back up in the parent face.
No,
Some children will actually fight their parent. Their parent like, oh, wait a minute,
yeah.
hold on. If I hit you and knock you out and put
Right.
a knot on your head and you call the police, ever since they made that law where parents couldn't chastise their kid to a certain extent,
Right.
they've been going to jail and we've been burying them ever since. If
So,
you hit
so
them,
you think that where it started at?
Hold
I
on.
When
believe
they made a
that's
law
one
not
of
to
them.
hit their children?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
one of them. That's
Cause see,
one
I
of them.
grew up under the same law, but that ain't
I
Man,
hear you.
parents, you put a mark on a child now, the law says, because I
Right.
knocked mine out 9, they 37 and 33. Okay?
Mhm.
Right.
I,
You put a
I
mark
agree
on
on
them
that.
and
That when they
you
stop
got
y'all
some
from
of these
whooping you.
kids saying, I call the police on you, and they call the police. I've experienced somebody going to jail for a child when they called the police. For
Okay.
they
Right.
child that they
Mhm.
feed and house and
Mhm.
clothe.
Yeah, but when you got a parent like you said, if I'm telling my child you ain't grown until you got your own money, your own house, and when that child go get some money and a house and they still ain't grown, who's accountable for that?
Right.
The parent that told them what it looked like to be grown. So a lot of this comes from miseducation from the parent to the child. You
Facts.
know,
But if the parent don't know, it will.
so now who's accountable for that?
Hmm, that's a good question.
I tell you, they are
They
our
are.
parents.
Yeah, and sometimes you might
That
say
generation, that era.
it's hard to say, but sometimes you might have to say grandma or granddaddy were wrong.
They weren't always right. I mean,
Mm-mm.
I see it too much
Yeah,
with I see it too much with
My
the
thing is,
kids.
my thing is, we can go down the family tree, but if you look at the tree now, it's more RIPs on the tree
it's a heap of them.
than
Mm-hmm.
it is flowers on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so who?
So
So what?
that's what we at, for as that,
Right,
we can play the blame game all night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we can go down for generation to generation.
right.
But how it has gotten so bad now
You're right. We're
is
gonna
it's
lose
more
big.
RIPs on the tree
So we
than it is
losing big.
branches.
We losing big. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
So okay, so in other words, you're saying it's time for an answer.
Yeah, it's time for some answers
Right. So it's time
with
for
an S.
right.
Yeah.
It's time for some answers. So what do you suggest? Because one, if you got a problem, an umbrella, and under that umbrella you got a whole lot of problems up under this one thing, right? So that means you got to have, like you said, answers with an S.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, far as accountability for the parent and the child, what do you recommend to be an answer from one to the next?
Just like in the ministerial world, each one reach one, the
Okay.
same way in society.
Okay.
The men that have, as yourself and a lot of more I know, that came from where we from,
Right.
y'all have went on to excel. Y'all are like a living testament where y'all can go and say, well, okay, I'm gonna ask this parent, can I mentor this boy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got all these societies where they got to go through a stack of paperwork, but we can do it. You know what
I
I'm
get it.
saying?
Right. Right.
We can actually do it. Like I'm trying to get. Well, I've had a meeting with the CAP school system. I want to go. I told them I will volunteer and go in there and
Right.
have empowerment sessions.
Okay. Now we talk.
Vision boards.
Okay.
I mean, it's small things that we can do. See, we got to transform this first.
Right.
Then everything else will follow it.
I get it. And that's the reason, we started from this platform. And I got some parents that have personally come and asked me to mentor their children.
Absolutely.
And some I have had success with, and very few, and some I have not. But it was not from a lack of trying. So I get what you're saying, Martin.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It wasn't from a lack of trying. But now, let me tell you something. Now, we got to deal with this too, because this is a real issue. You got some folks out here that straight scatter these children.
Yeah, that too.
You feel me? Now, and you know what? They got a right to, because anytime you're dealing with a child at 18, 19 that's dealing with a lot of impulse and dealing with whatever they think emotionally they think is right, that child could very easily take something that you said the wrong way, and then some go wrong. So
I mean, you absolutely right. But whose children are they? Are you specifying that they're scared of their own children or just children in general?
Man, my mama scared of all of them because she don't go to the store no more. And the old folk, it ain't no one child that these folks scared of. They scared because they ain't sitting on the porch no more. They're scared of all of them. My people don't sit on the old people that don't sit on the porch no more. They don't walk down the street because they scared.
You know, when I went and had the first, I think I had the first or the second. Yeah, it was the second event in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
That we had. People was asking, "You ain't scared?" So for some reason, I'm not scared, because these same children that going around spinning, like they talking about spinning on them, they spin the block and blow them and just shoot up the block.
Yeah.
These same children slept in the same bed while we went out to Jane played somewhere. You see what I'm saying? These children know each other. They know each other. They grew up together.
Right, I got you.
And now they arch enemies because of a color or being a Crip or blood. Come on now. That's just an excuse. That's an excuse.
Right. Now, can I say this about Bloods? In my opinion, Bloods, Crips, before they were considered to be a gang, they are really a culture, right?
Yeah, because to be specific.
Hold on 1 second. I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
They were considered to be a culture, and I'm gonna tell you how this worked. When the mafia came in, the United States labeled them as a gang. They were not a gang. It was the way that their culture was ran. Because in the Italian culture, if you did this was the punishment. That was their culture.
Right.
In the Irish community, when you did a certain thing, that was their culture. So somebody put a label on them as being gangsters. They were not gangsters. That's the way that they ran their culture. Now, another thing about the Italian culture is, yeah, they may do what they do, but they don't have that stuff carrying on in their neighborhood like that. So
yeah, but they got turf, so they claim a certain area in a city. But in October the 15th, 1970, they Congress passed the RICO law.
Okay.
So the RICO law The gangsters fit up under that. Everything that they were doing, embezzling money, laundering money, gambling, all of this, murder, all of this is up under that law.
Like organized crime, basically.
It like organized crime. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And now, you know, like I say, the murder rate is getting so bad. They putting the gang system up under the RICO law because of the murders.
Do you think gangs? Go. I'm sorry.
They're able to indict them. They're able to get them off the streets because they are in an organized crime.
Oh, wow.
They labeling them as an organized crime.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
criminals.
Let me speak on this real quick. Can I say something real quick?
Oh man, I hear you, Rick.
It done got so bad in here, like y'all saying gangs, they didn't label the Muslims as gangs.
Are you serious, man?
Wow.
I see. It done got so bad in here that they didn't label the Muslims as a gang. It's in the black book as a gang.
Oh wow.
So next they gonna say Christianity is a gang.
Right, I got you. Let me ask you something, Rick. I didn't even know I could hear you, man. Martin, I want to go back to the RICO law, but I didn't know Rick could talk. I want to ask him something.
Go ask him.
I want to ask the panel something.
Okay.
Do you think that a gang can be a good thing?
It started out a good thing.
Can it really did. Now?
In 1969, it started out a good thing. Crips were you know, they stemmed from the Black Panther. You know, they was like community revolution in progress. That's what Crip, the acronym Crip meant. Okay. You know, but Tookie Williams and another guy went over in Centennial High and jumped on two more Crips, which they name was Sylvester Scott and Benson Owens. All of those was in that, you know, that community revolution in progress. They went to the high school and jumped on these two boys. So these two boys, Sylvester Scott and Benson Owens, they went on different side of the Pyru Street, east and west, and they performed the blood gangs, right? Because they got beat up at the school. It all started out with a fight. Right. Now it has stemmed to 401,000 members aging from 5 to 17.
Right,
killing each other. Yeah, off of one fight against the same gang now.
I get it. I just think that me personally, and I could be. I mean, this show is as we see it. This is how I see it. I believe the gangs, if it's not a problem with, it's the problems with the culture. Because if you're telling me that it started out as one thing, and then that means the culture was good then, and then the culture of it changed. And
after they turn against each other.
Right. So I don't really think that I don't want to minimize the power of organizing.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
If it's done in the right way, in the right light, like we organize.
Right, absolutely not. I don't have anything against that either. Right. You know, but you know, all of this, you know, the most popular person in the other gang, you know, they got a time set to kill them and take them off the earth. I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? You can be organized over there in your little turf or whatever. But my thing is, okay, you over here, I can speak for Albany because I'm from there and I did a lot of research down there. Okay, you got these over here on the south and you got these over on the east and these over here on the west, but they can go to the sand trap and party in the same club. Make that make sense to me.
Well, now we got somebody right here, Brother Richard. They party in the same club, they fight, but they do a different thing when they come that way. Am I right, Rick?
Exactly. You're exactly right.
talk about it a little bit. What
they own be against they together, they together out there. When they come in here, they're against each other. Bloods fighting Bloods, Crips fighting Crips, GDs fighting GDs. Sad up in here, you know, and you know, I was listening at y'all got some good facts of what y'all talking about. It starts out there. You can have like, for instance, you can have a civilian and they come to prison for, like you said earlier, stealing or something. Right. And when they get in here, you know, the gang members going to attack them because they are not affiliated with nothing, and they trick them with, you can get in this, you can get in this. So once they do that, they got to go do something. They might have to go, a Blood may have to go bust a Crip in the head or something like that, or go try to do this and bring them in. And so that starts wars. That's why sometimes, you know, being from Albany, you know, I done heard some of my homegirls, you know, their kids been passed away, and that be the cause, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been, you know, did something kind of crazy, and it be all out war. Just like a couple of about a month ago, it was all out war in Waycross, Georgia. So it true every prison in the state of Chang'an, you know what I'm saying? Bloods on Bloods, Crips and Bloods, Mexicans. It was all out war.
Damn, Rick. So what do you tell me? What kind of, if you can, what does all out war mean? Like everybody against everybody, or how did that work?
Come again now?
Is it like everybody against every? Is it like, well, what I'm asking? So one situation started one spot, and it went from that spot to all over the state of Georgia.
Exactly. See, say for instance, Crips may end up fighting Bloods at Waycross State Prison.
Right.
They gonna call around and say it's all out war everywhere. So that means at all the other Chang'an, they got to go to war. They got to fight.
I got you.
Wow.
Because they didn't got it. Even
so you saying that
even sometimes it can trigger down from.
Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Come again.
I was just wondering, like,
I say it can.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
You go ahead.
Damn, he had to hang up. Oh, he's gonna get back on. Nah, I was just wondering, you know, because when he said it's all out war, I could be in prison and I could be friends with a Blood, and then somebody make a call, and all of a sudden we at war with each other.
We at war, right?
Yeah, and another thing I got from what he was saying, when the young guys, you know, like they saying, you know, from the ages 5 to 17, when they come in the prison, they got to get some type protection, some type covering, so they be lured into these lifestyles. Yeah.
Okay. So Martin, when you was talking about, I just want these guys to understand. You hear what Rick's saying.
Yeah.
You hear about this RICO law that Miss Evangelist Minister Martin Jackson is telling you about tonight. So, Martin, under with these conditions that Rick is talking about, let the people know what this RICO Act is doing to get them into that type of situation.
The RICO Act is just like we established earlier. It's an organized crime. They putting it up under organized crime, and the reason that they are able to charge gang members or put them up under this indictment because of the murder. Okay. The nature of what's going on, you know, and it's providing the prosecutors. They seeking to establish criminal activity prior to seeking formal and false RICO charges, which means that they can go back in your history and see how many times you have been charged with a charge. And according to how many times you've been charged with the same charge, they can indict you with the RICO.
Oh, wow.
And the RICO holds 20 years, just the RICO, not even a charge. It's just the indictment holds 20 years.
So let me ask this. So, okay, we're talking about the RICO law. We see what they can do. So, Richard, once they get charged up under the RICO law, when they come into the system, what do they have to look for in there? You see what I'm saying, Rick?
Rick, can you hear?
What do
Come
they have?
again?
When they come in those doors, what do these young men have to look forward to seeing or doing?
You know, some of the stuff that's going on in here now, you know, I'm gonna be uncut with you.
See, that's all.
It's
That's all
ugly.
it be.
And first of all, they don't have enough officers to watch us.
Okay.
On one shift, you may have 5 officers, and that's including the P control, the sergeant, and the lieutenant.
Okay.
So the officers cannot watch everything. That's why when fights break out, they can't stop it. That's why people getting stabbed up, they can't stop it. They die.
Right.
They might be like, we'll say, the front of Monroe High School, because y'all familiar with Monroe.
Right.
They might be at the top of Newton Road, and a person may be dying down here, and they won't even know it. So by the time the person makes his round and get down here, the person is dead.
Oh.
Right. Wow.
So
Richard, let me ask you this. Richard, tell a little bit of your story. Tell a little bit of your story. How that you ended up in there, and how long you been there. Tell a little bit of your story, how you ended up in there and how you been there.
She was asking you.
Come again, one time.
Tell some of your. She wants you to share some of your story and how did you wind up, being where you are right now.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, Montaigne been knowing me for many years, ever since I was a little jet. I can't honestly say what y'all was talking about about the drugs and everything. She know when I was doing my thing when I first got shot. She was on the scene.
Right.
She was right there on the scene. Yep. And when I got shot, she was right there, like I said, and I didn't know I was shot.
Okay.
I showed her. I said, "Dog, I'm burning." I looked down, and she said, "Oh, baby, you been shot." You know what I'm saying? Young, out there in the streets, selling drugs, doing this and that. So once I got shot, I would say got furious, trigger happy. If somebody threaten me or I see a gun, I'm gonna shoot.
I get it.
What happened as the years went on, back in 1994, I was at this club over on Flint in Davis.
Okay. And the Corner Club.
2 of my friends went in the club, and I didn't go at the time. So I was ready to go. So I went in the club to get them. So while I'm in the club, a guy pulled up with a gun, being him and a friend of mine had been arguing in the club. So the dude had a gun. So my friend asked me, did I have my gun? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He was like, can I borrow? I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't shot in it. I didn't want to go through that. So the dude made them leave. So once they was leaving, he turned to me and like, you with them too, you get the F out this club. So I'm like, you don't know me, I don't know you. So he was like, but you with them. So I went easing out the club. I would tell anybody about my story. So I wanted to turn around and shoot him then, but my mind wouldn't let me. So I go out the club. So boom, I turn left. So he go across the street. So his cousin came out the club. He was like, Richard, boy, man, I'm finna go try to talk to him. I said, man, please do. He tripped. So his cousin go out there. He tell them, you must be down with them. Get the hell out of my face. So instead of him going to the person he was arguing with, which is my friend, so-called friend, he coming my way. So being that I had been shot before, I raised up and I see him about, I would say, probably about 55 footsteps. So
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
like I said, he coming toward my area. He ain't going toward who he got into it with. So I raised up. I had a 38 special that night, and I shot 2.
Wow.
Oh, we lost Richard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, man.
He don't come back.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to come back
That's how
and tell this story.
Yeah, I think
I
we
want
had
him to
all
tell
those
it too because they railroad him. We're gonna go through the court part too. They kind of railroad this boy because he was young. They scared him with some time.
Right. Hold on one second, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, tell him.
Yeah.
So once the girls started hollering, I got scared. So I ran on the side of the club and went over one of my homeboys' house behind the club.
Okay.
So boom, so all the ambulance and all that coming. So I'm like, dog, I'm scared. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get back to the south side.
Right.
So at that particular time, I hear the police come. I run down the alley, get in some bushes. So the police came down the alley. So I get from up under the bush coming back. So my so-called friend passed by. I get in the car with him. So we get down there by Flint Industrial where it used to be. I get out the car. So one of my friends was like, he got the dude gun. I'm like, oh man, let me see what he had. So I get the gun. So I go on. I know y'all familiar with K&S store. So I went to K&S store. Young, dumb, somebody worked in the store that knowed me, was underage to buy beer. She let me buy some beer. So I got all my money because I was selling drugs too. The pistol on top of money. So she like, Rich boy, what you done did? It look like you done did. So I'm like, I ain't did that. So she was like, what you waiting on to pay for this stuff? So I'm so nervous. I say, I got that gun on me. She said, you better walk in the back of that store and get that money out. So I get the money out and whatever. So I go on to my lady friend's house. Come to find out, my friend told them, so they come and get me. So they take me down. So they question and everything, ask me where I've been and all that. So being the person that I am, knowing that I had did it, young and dumb, and trying to keep it real, I went on to confess that I did it.
Okay.
So not knowing, a lot of other people were saying that he did it. And right to this day, a lot of people still think that I didn't do it. But I'm here to tell y'all firsthand, I did it through self-defense, for self-defense. So anyway, I went upstairs and everything. So he beating on the things, talking about what they talking about. I say, man, they gonna let you out. They gonna let you out. So I ended up, before I went to trial, being it wasn't no self-defense law in Georgia back then, in Albany, Georgia, it wasn't no self-defense law.
Right.
The circumstance of this case, how it happened, the results, they came to me with 20 years voluntary manslaughter. Me being young, dumb, and illiterate to the law, I'm thinking self-defense still. I'm like, I don't want to do no time.
Right.
I told my lawyer, I say, which I got railroad, I said, I take 2010 or 2015. So Red Edwards wouldn't go for that. So I went to trial. So once I went to trial, they ended up giving me a 7-year life sentence. And I've been in ever since. I turned 20 years old in 1993.
Right.
In September. I got locked up New Year's night, 1994, and I've been here ever since.
My God.
But the law, through the DA said the justification was 20 years violence. This man had a gun. And I've been here ever since. And since I've been here, and I didn't have the scuffle here, scuffle there, but I would never sell my soul to get in a game. I done seen that trick young folks, older folks, and all. And it's just sad up real bad, and I done seen folks get thrown over the rail, get the buffer dropped on their head and everything. And it got to the point I started carrying a homemade knife on me.
Right. Right.
But like y'all said, it starts with y'all. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I hate to be seeing these young kids coming in here, getting in these games. It's sad. It's really sad. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad.
Man, I just thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Man.
It really is.
You know, I mean, what you said, man, my heart just went out, man.
Mine too.
I didn't even know the details of what happened, Rick. You know, we was, all of were thugging at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know the details of it. I just want to thank you, man, for sharing that, my bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. It get real behind them walls. It get real. That's what that's why, and I have been corresponding with Richard Boy, and he's like, I want to be a part of what you're doing. I really want these young boys to understand that it ain't, it get real when you get behind them walls.
Right.
You don't wear no polo and Drake top shit, get ballers with lights on it and all. You don't get all that behind them balls.
Right.
So with that being said, making the decision to pick up a gun to take somebody else's life, they got a life sentence for you too.
Go ahead, Ray.
I want to show y'all something. Look at this.
Oh.
No officer, nowhere. You can die here. Look. That's the control room where they're supposed to sit. Nobody in there. Nobody. A fight break out now, somebody gets stabbed. Where they at? Nobody nowhere around.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. Oh my God.
It's sad. It's sad. Nobody nowhere around. Nobody. I mean nobody. Folks carrying these around just to be safe. They put these in socks and on belts. They carry homemade knives. Knives better than home knives. Nobody. Big old building. Nowhere. No officer nowhere. 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 That's the control booth where they supposed to be at. Nobody in there. Nowhere. Nowhere. It's sad in here. It's sad. Sad. Look at all these folks. Nowhere. A fight break out. It's sad. It's sad. Look at them. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Straight sad. That's the yard. Look at that. Nobody nowhere. You can't even see no cars over there. No cars nowhere. Ain't no officers here to work. No cars. Nowhere.
Right.
Nowhere. No cars nowhere. It's sad.
I want to ask you something.
I told Montaigne once I get out, I want to, communicate with her and talk about this. It's real of him. Some folks try to put cut on it. I ain't here to put cut on nothing.
That's real.
It's sad.
That's real.
It's sad. It's sad.
Well, you got me at a loss of words.
Me too.
I know, right? What you gotta say?
First of all, your story is powerful, and I am also at a loss for words because it tears at my heart. Because we got these young boys, and not just boys but girls who don't understand, what happens because it's all a game.
Parents too.
The parents too,
right?
Till they get there, and it's too late.
It's too late. It's too late. If they get there.
Right. It's just
if they get there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask him, like I know we've asked him, what would he say? What would he plead
to
parents and these children? What is your plea?
He jumped out. I think that, didn't it, Boo?
He did. I'm just waiting on him to jump back in. Go ahead and finish your thought.
I just want to ask him, what would he plead to him to try to gain some sense of control or some sense of help,
right? What
we can do before it get to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think now that just seeing that and hearing that just brings it brings a realness to your mind
It
because
does.
Absolutely.
It
about
does.
prison, and then when you don't see it, you don't really understand what they're going through.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's important that we don't forget about our brothers behind that wall, man.
Right. And in case can't nobody do the numbers and can't count as fast, 1994 was 30 years ago. I do the math. Yeah.
Did y'all see the white dude that passed by when I was showing y'all the control booth?
I did.
Yeah.
That same white boy got busted in the head today on the yard by a Mexican. He crippled. So it was one outside there. It could have started a blood barrel. Get what the officer say in his scene. Get what the officer said.
What did he say?
He said, y'all handle that in the dome.
God.
And get what? Tomorrow gonna be a blood barrel watch. It's gonna be the Crips and the Mets watch.
That's crazy.
But this one officer could have locked them up and transferred both of them to keep this down. So now it's gonna click out watch.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Now, Charisma. I want to give her. She wanted to ask you something.
Richard, like I was telling them, your story is profound. But what would your plea be? What would you plead to the parents and the children? What would you like to plead to them before it gets there? Because your story, man, it's pulling at my heart.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real with you, and like I say, I'm the person that I ain't gonna be cutting on this. I have 3 kids.
right.
Both of my sons, they were bloods. When I found that out, being my oldest son, whatever they call it, got his rank from California, and knowing my son that was in Albany was banging, and my son that was out of California came back to Atlanta, but he had retired or whatever. I told him he need to go to Albany and tell them folks his brother is not going to be banging. So he did that. But I won't plead to the people. I will cry out to the people to be more interested in their kids and be with their kids. Because right now I'm about to cry because I know the situation. It hurts me deeply. When I be seeing guys fighting and everything, I be want to break it up, but sometimes you can't break up stuff because you'll be the target.
I get it.
Just like the other day, it was a fight in the dorm. True enough, a dude, it was Muslim and a civilian. They were fighting. We went in the room. I'm not finna grab nobody ASAP. So the other dude grabbed somebody and he got, but I cried to the family to be more with your kids and talk to them and be around. I know mom's gonna be moms. They're gonna be there. But I would like to talk to the dads, man. That shit really hurts. I wasn't there with my kids because I got incarcerated, but I used to be around my kids a lot. But I would like to talk to the dads, man, and cry out to them. They say it take a grown man to cry, and I would cry out to them. Right. Man, spend time with your kids, especially them boys. For them boys get themselves in trouble or die, man.
Right.
It's sad, really. It hurts me. For real. I just hope that one day the fathers just be a parent to their kids, being they want to have all these kids, be close to their kids. Don't let them get a spray. Ain't nothing wrong with letting them go to the skating range here and there, but sometimes you can't let them go all the time because they initiating that skating range, school dances, all that. Keep an eye on them. Go to the schools and sit with them folks.
Right.
See what they surrounding are. If you feel one thing I done learned about the Spirit of God, he gonna give you a sign and show you a sign that ain't the right person. You gotta quit going over there. And I just cry. It eats me up for real.
Right.
That's right. Crying out.
Just like like I said, I often said that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad. Like I said, it ate me up when I heard the officer, say, shoot, hey, not out here. Y'all don't make me do no paperwork. Y'all handle that in the dorm or on the next shift.
Right.
But you got to look at in the system now. What they have in the system,
right?
You have officers of Bloods, you have officers of Crips, you have officers of GDs now. So therefore, they're gonna look out for their own kind on that level.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. They're doing that.
So let me ask you this.
They open the door. They open the door. They let them come in and beat you up. Or they doing that now. It didn't got sad in them.
You know,
that's why if it's the Lord's will, I hear something next week. Time I get out of prison, I want to start talking to people through y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna be uncut with mine. You know what I'm saying? I might cry out sometimes I mean not, but I'm gonna be uncut because I'm first hand on this man. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's a powerful story, Rick.
It is.
Yeah. It's a dude got stabbed. It's a dude got stabbed up for $30 on the bike side of my window. I'm finna show y'all in C3 the other day. That dorm right there got stabbed up and died.
Oh. So what do they tell the parents
after
they?
Right.
What do they tell the parents when they die in the system?
They might tell them it gang related, he was affiliated, and sometimes they be lying.
Right.
And it's so sad. It's so sad. The dude that died got stabbed up in that dorm. His own brother, right? They can open that door. They can open that door over there. Get what? Why he would? Well, he was already dead. Everybody saying, but his own brother did put him on his bike and take him to medical because it wasn't enough officers.
I get it. Rick, let me ask you this, man. When you, I'm gonna say, when you come home, and you're coming home soon. I'm putting that in the air.
That's right.
When you come home,
amen.
What do you feel? What after being there so long, when you come home, how are you gonna feel about some of the brothers that you done got close to that's still in there?
To be honest with you, like I say, I try to, you asked me a good question, and being the person that I am with a good heart,
yeah,
I'm gonna feel their pain, and I would like to come back in here and visit those guys, man, because it's real in him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad, man. And like I say, it starts out there, and these cats in here ain't making them better.
I got you.
Because some of the civilians be so scared that a blood may come take their stuff or crook. But I'm gonna be real. Only one doing most of the robbing are the bloods and most of the bloods and the crook. They be so scared they might not be affiliated now. They go and say they might go tell a GDA, I want to be GD man. And they'll accept them.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy, because now it let you know, man, Richard, letting you know ain't no guns in there.
No.
You ain't bad in there.
No.
I don't care how bad you think you is at the store. You're not bad in there.
Bring me up from right.
You can't spin in there.
You're not bad in there.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you get caught up on this RICO Act, you're gonna be in there, and you're gonna have to deal with that. And guess what? Rick gonna be home.
Right.
Yeah, Rick's gonna be home. And as bad as he feeling it hard about what might be going on with you, but he done did his time.
Right.
He done did his.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He did it, in which it shouldn't have to go. It didn't have to go that way, but it happened like that.
Yeah. When you
now, it make me feel. I feel ashamed just the fact that done happened to Richard, and it happened to a lot of more brothers. But we don't have the resources in our community to make sure that type of mess don't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we don't. You know, sometimes it's sad to say, if it's not happening to us, or if it's not happening to somebody we close to, then we ain't worried about it.
Yeah, nobody wants to get involved until it hit they house.
We ought to be ashamed.
Then they want the world to stop.
We ought to be ashamed.
Yeah, that's true.
We gotta cry out to these young guys, you know, and some girls are in there, because there's 3 ways that you can, you know, join a gang. You could be blessed in, sexed in, or jumped in. You know, most of the women be sexed in. You know, they have multiple sex partners or leaders or whatever. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is the decision. One,
right?
When you get this, when you put this finger like this and turn it this way, and we're on a trigger, and you pull that trigger, that is a decision.
It is.
And the consequences. Now, let's touch on the RICO law again. The RICO law, just the indictment itself, carries 20 years.
I got you.
Without
not even counting the murder or whatever else you have done.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So you
and
got
the prosecutors are eating this up.
Okay. Okay.
They're eating it up.
So give them a number. You say just the indictment is carrying 20. What's the possible number that they can completely get if other factors being involved?
Well, I have a list of statistics. I didn't get many because they got 35 crimes up under the RICO law. Oh, wow. But generally, those convicted, it's fed time.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? The state prisons are getting so overcrowded that now they got to, they got to use this RICO law to send them the federal prison. Right. So they can do day for day or don't never get out or throw away the key or however you want to. But the maximum sentence is 20 years. And with a $25,000 fine per charge.
Right.
You can have 5 charges. Per charge, $25,000. That's $500,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so for a federal RICO case, at least 2 offenses in a 10-year period must be charged, and in many cases, 4 more. Furthermore, the RICO Act was designed to specifically target known organized crime, and they got I got a couple. I didn't get all of them, but I got the majority of them. It can stem from gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, robbery, bribery, dealing in obscene matter, dealing or trafficking a controlled substance or chemical, bribery, counterfeiting, theft, embezzlement, fraud, obstruction of justice, slavery, money laundering, commission of murder for hire, embezzlement of union funds, bankruptcy fraud or security fraud, criminal copyright infringement, human smuggling, acts of terrorism. That's everything.
Right, I got you. That's wild, man, because they done added just enough to hit you any kind, to hit you on any side.
Everything, yeah, exactly.
They add just enough.
Yeah, they don't add trafficking to the RICO. Trafficking drugs.
Are you serious?
Drug trafficking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So Martin, sound like to me, you saying okay, the state prisons are overcrowded.
Mm-hmm.
I look on TV this morning, I see Fulton County got an issue. You probably saw with the jail.
So many up here. It done got rough.
Okay. So now what does that mean? That means they finna build more jails.
Absolutely.
more
Yeah.
prison.
Let me
That's what that
hit
means.
you. Let me hit you with this. This gonna
Right,
blow your
They
mind.
closed down Reedville.
right,
Statistics says by the time a child get in the third grade, according to his SAT scores, they know how many prisons to build.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's the
right.
school to prison
I saw
pipeline.
that. Yeah,
The
I
school
Yeah.
to
saw
prison
that.
pipeline.
So
Hmm
It's
you
real.
know,
So educating our kids is definitely got to be one thing. You know,
absolutely.
educate them.
Hmm.
Understand, because you got a lot of kids out here thinking, okay, this thing is fun, and then they've
Mm.
been seeing jokers get out of jail back and
hmm
forth, and that's finna end.
That's
Yeah.
finna end.
That's
They
finna
done
end.
already
I,
passed a law here in Atlanta that if you done took somebody's life, no first finna act, no signing yourself out, no none of that. They trying to get this over the whole state of Georgia. They trying to get Governor Kemp to sign that this
Right.
week. You
Okay.
know, you don't get out. You don't get out. You don't get no bond. You don't get nothing.
Right. So, Richard, what did you have to say there, Rick?
you know, what I'm about to say. I've been told Montaigne about the situation, but
Right.
my spirit, being that this is my first time talking to you all, my spirit is a good spirit right now to tell y'all this and show y'all this.
Okay.
Back in '05, the other camp where I was at, it was a bunch of Albany folks. You know, one thing about Albany people, we're gonna stick together regardless of what gang you in, because you're gonna see us again.
Right.
hmm
I got into a situation with a dude trying to come and take stuff out of my life. So
Right.
it was a big brawl, sticking and stabbing and everything. I was involved in it.
Okay.
And, you know, like I say, it's real in him. And I
Right.
want to tell everybody this. And once I get out, I'm going to show everybody. It's so real. Boo, you ain't seen this. I'm
Right.
finna show it to you now. I lost an eye in here, bro.
God.
Oh God.
I lost the eye.
Oh man.
I lost the eye in him, bro. Straight up.
Yeah.
You young boy nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Now, I probably would have. They didn't probably added that on when I got shot off last time, but I've been staying out of trouble. But you know, I had to do my thing too. You know what I'm saying? I was defending myself.
I feel
Yeah.
you. Right.
I lost the eye since I've been in. You know, I ain't trying to get you to feel sorry for me, but ma'am, I forgot your name, but I lost the eye in him through a ride trying to defend myself. You know, it get ugly. I just thank God I didn't get killed.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get
Absolutely.
Oh God.
it. No, brother. I Rick, man, let me tell you something. Man, I really applaud you, man, for sharing this, man.
Absolutely.
I think these kids got it. They have an imaginary idea.
They do.
What
They do.
prison is like. It's
They
an
do.
imaginary idea. No,
Absolutely.
this is the real deal.
Yeah.
This is the real
Wow.
deal. And you got a brother that care enough after he done did this much time as which he should have done, but he still care enough to reach back and say, "Don't you bring your butt here. This what you gonna get.
That ain't what you want.
This is
This
not
ain't
what
what
you
you
want.
want.
This
This
is
ain't
not
what
what
you
you want.
Yeah. So, man, I just applaud you for even having the heart to speak out, because I
Yeah.
can't say that if I had done that much time, I would have felt the same way. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I might be mad at the
It
world.
it gets so bad. It got so bad to these jokers, like I said, was able to break out this door. Y'all see this door?
Yeah.
So they had to put a lock on the door before they won't break out.
Good God.
That lock right there.
Right.
They lock it outside.
Get out of here, man.
Cause they were breaking out, going in the other rooms, stabbing folks up and everything.
So basically, you saying what they calling survival out here, baby? That ain't survival.
It's not survival.
That ain't it.
Exactly.
That ain't it. That ain't it. You can't stop the folk from a joker from bringing the folk to you in there. You can't stop it.
And like you say, boo, you said a mouthful. Ain't no guns in there.
Ain't no guns in there.
No gun.
Yeah, you can't pull your Draco out and spin.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Ain't no challenges and charges and Dracos in there now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't spin the block. They're gonna open that door on you. You understand?
Yeah. They're gonna close it behind you too.
Montaigne. Hey, you remember Montaigne? I know you probably do. You should too, boo. Do you remember Touche?
Yeah, I remember Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't say it. Don't say it.
He ain't dead, but he caught a murder case in prison.
Oh no.
He never getting out. And guess what Touche did?
What, man?
Get what? They so short of help. Get what? They didn't find out the dude was dead till 3 days later because Touche put him in the bed and everything like he was sleeping.
Oh my God.
Had him fixed up like he was sleeping. Like this right here. I'm gonna show you how they can fix them up like they still alive.
They needed to see this. They need to see it.
They need to see it.
Please let this keep circulating around Facebook or wherever. They need to see this.
Share this video. Share this video. Sit your child down and let them see it. Let them see it. All this stuff that NBA young boy and all of them rapping about. See, they don't found they talent. They don't found they gift.
They so short of help. They so short of help an officer, and they don't come around and check and see as you woke. Tell me you won't think somebody in this bed.
You gonna think they're in there?
Let me see. Go down a little bit.
Yeah, we can't see.
Go down. Boy.
Got it made up like somebody in there.
You know what?
That's straight game.
That's a sloppy job there. I can get better than that. That's how they do.
Yeah, I got you.
So it
took swear he just sleeping.
3 days to find that by 3 days.
It took an officer. It took a real officer to come in. One of them officers that want their job and go by the book. They'll come by and say, "Let me see some skin," or come in here and do the bed like they him. Hey, you up? And you got to move. Most officers won't come by and say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Rick. I want to touch on another thing. You hear me? So,
yeah.
Okay, let's go touch on that. What them boys got to look forward to when them jokers that been there for a long time wanna do something with them?
Oh, that happened about a month ago. They are raping in him. They raping. They are raping. So you know
are they able to stop that?
They had stopped that one time, but they just started by raping in him now.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah, they raping.
There it is.
Yeah, they just started by raping.
There it is.
And it's sad. They don't want the one that already feminine. They want to turn some folks out.
There it is.
And then the one that feminine, they ain't trying to talk to them and then to get some. They raping them too.
There it is.
It's sad.
Now here's
it's sad, man.
I want y'all to understand, Rick. I'm going to say something to you. You got NBA young boy and a lot of other rappers out here, right? Have you ever heard of a rapper running anything in chain gang?
Oh no. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about that.
Right.
Let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about that.
Right.
Like I said,
I'm gonna wake up.
Richard boy gonna tell you uncut.
Give it to me.
They had Lucci brother down here.
Okay.
He came down here thinking he was gonna run shit.
The rapper Lucci. Yeah.
Yeah, his brother. He came down here trying to run shit. So when you trying to run stuff, you got to feed them young boys. You got to buy them some food. You got to get them some weed. You got to get them some ice. If you ain't supplying that, them young boys gonna turn on you.
There it is.
So being that Lucci brother had stopped doing that,
right?
Get what they did?
What?
Shit. Tied him up. Called Lucci and told Lucci you need to send us some money down
here. There it is.
And they took the what it is, NYFNC change that. They took all that.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
YFN, that YFN. Yeah, that YFN.
Yeah, they took that.
Yeah.
They tied him up.
Yeah. Ain't no rapper. Ain't Mike Tyson, he a boxer. Ain't no rapper running nothing in no prison. I don't care how famous they is out here. I don't care how much money they show y'all out there. They ain't running nothing. They not running nothing in there.
Right.
Yeah. They're not running nothing in there. So you got
and really it ain't about what running. It's about having protection wherever you go. That's why they spread, they spread it out so so thin, everywhere, calling it this nation, that nation, but all of these, all of the OGs like Snoop Dogg, Easy NWA, Tupac, all of them was tripped, even Tupac had a message. But he was, he was obnoxious. He was like, he didn't trust the police. He didn't like white people because of what he saw,
right?
In his upbringing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So our children out here are angry and they don't even know what they're angry about. And if they did know what they're angry about, ain't nobody trying to discover or touch on that. They try to get them the necessary help. Like in my opinion, I think every school in America should have not just no counselor you could go to and tell on your mama, then get the welfare to go to your mama out. No, I ain't talking about that. They need mental health evaluations in these schools.
Okay.
Somebody that they can call if they in a crisis or they in a bad spot, that'll come and get them or help them to not make a decision. Pulling a trigger, pulling a gun, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? But when you pull that gun, when you pull that trigger, die face, it is over with.
There you go. Read that code.
See that down on the screen?
Once that bullet leaves that gun, that's it. You cannot bring it back and that person back neither. It's so many mothers, it's so many emotions in the atmosphere. Let me go in the spirit a little bit before we get out of here. It's so many emotions in the atmosphere. It's when you are a chosen vessel, or like God, because He chose me. I'm telling you, it wasn't my foolish behind. I'm telling you, because I would have never said,
I get it, right?
But in the spirit, is so many mothers wailing, for their children. They trying to make it day by day. They trying, but you know why they wailing? Because it is not divine order for a parent to be bearing their children.
I get it.
So it's so many mothers wailing
Right.
I can almost hear it loud in the spirit. It's like a loud hum in the spirit. They are wailing. They can't get past it. They can't get over it. Nothing nobody can say. Nothing nobody can do. They just praying and asking God to hold on to whatever strength he gives them in a run of a day. A day now. Not a month, week, year.
Right.
So it's so many emotions in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So many, that's why you can tell somebody, wait a minute, excuse me, and they jump slap off the grid. And so many people lost they loved ones to this COVID, something we never have experienced before. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people dying at one time. It was hitting home, left, right, left. Then here come the kids getting angry because they done been out of school 18 months. And some of them, they used to be in, that's how they learn in school. All of these emotions
I got you.
are intertwining.
Okay.
And it's causing it's like an inferno with a big old cloud of smoke over it.
Okay.
That nobody can put out but God. But God, on the other hand, he moving his own timing.
He do.
So he's done everything to get the family back in the house. He closed the churches to bring the preachers back home. They can't make an excuse. They got this, that, and that. Go home to your wife. Get back to the table. Eat dinner together. He has did. You know what I'm saying?
And stop freaking. Stop. Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop freaking.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, we gotta stop it.
Yeah.
He has did so much to get the family unit back together.
Right. The unit.
Well, we can't get past the trauma.
I got you.
We can't get past the trauma. And a lot of people think therapy or whatever is, when we were growing up and you went to mental health, you were crazy.
Right.
They got all these resources. They free if you don't have insurance.
Right.
Go talk to somebody.
Okay.
They don't trust the church because they see the church looking like the world and the world looking like the church.
There you go.
They're not church.
Right.
But they got these resources to help you map out these emotions that's in the atmosphere.
Okay.
They tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah,
and that deceit and that mess with your mind. All of it is in the mind.
I see what you're saying.
So I got a question for you, because I mean we brought up mental health for probably the last 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Right.
How do we implement mental health to our children when the parents don't first agree with or won't even get help for themselves?
easy.
You go as a unit. You go as a family. You get therapy as a family.
Okay.
But see, so in other words, so
don't tell the child to do something that you ain't willing to do.
Yeah, but we got to also, if we're gonna deal with the child, then we probably gonna have to deal with the
parent. That's why I'm getting
at.
that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
See, the Black community has put such a stigma on mental health.
Just like Martin said, people think going to mental health is something negative because that's what's been put out there.
Yeah,
that's what's been put out there. Yeah. And,
but there's so many resources, there's so many group therapies, there's so many all of this. The world want to paint right wrong and wrong right.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And our children are really confused. They are really confused or what's right or what's wrong or what's evil or what's good. You know what I'm saying? They just touching and getting involved with things that they see everyone else doing.
For that much, I'm confused and I'm grown because it's so much information out here now. I don't know what to believe, so I don't mess with none of it.
Right. Well, I think therapy is
I do too.
I think it needs to happen.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I mean, but
You
it's
know
just
what
so
I'm
many
saying?
schisms and schisms out here. You know,
Because
I believe in like, okay, the approach that you're taking right now, for example, I believe that there's a way to have a relationship with God in a way that you're not religious and non-traditional. That's the God using you in a way to where you can reach people, but your way might not be in agreement with the way that they think this should be. But God has already stamped you to do it.
absolutely.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
know, yeah, Jesus already brought the sword. I ain't come to bring no sword.
Don't you
He
bring no
already
sword that's
brought the
already
sword.
there. Yeah.
I'm coming as a mama, auntie, a
Yeah,
sister.
yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? A
Right.
mother
You
with
got
a
that
son.
two-edged
You know
sword
what I
with you.
mean?
You got that two-edged sword with you, though.
Oh, yes, I do, baby. And I use it in a New York sucker.
Yes, sir. No, man.
I'm not playing with the devil. I ain't playing with this in this season. It's time out for playing.
I like that. I like your fire.
It's time out for playing. I'm so serious. I could be in the store and I could see the boy with your pants down. I'll be like, hey, I like them underwear. You know, I say stuff. I strike up stuff just to say they look
Yeah,
like.
that
You
real.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Auntie, they go to pull up the clothes.
Right, right.
I ain't telling you to pull your clothes up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
You know, Montana,
It's just your approach. It's just your approach. I'm just real like that. I done been out there, done that. I'm like the TikTok Mimi where they say where the couple on there saying who the live, they be like this and then they like this.
yeah,
Who been to jail? Who been sold drugs?
yeah, yeah,
Who done knocked the nigga out?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
I want to say this
Been
for
there,
people.
done that. That's why I'm not scared. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I want to say this for people that don't know you. The same Martine that you getting right now was the same Martine that had always been. So now, the fire that she had on the other side, she just has brought it on another side.
Right.
Same person.
Right.
So you don't have to change. You don't have to change who you are. I've always been silly and like to laugh. I ain't gonna stop doing that. You know what I
I
mean?
told God, I just a little joke. I told God, I say, you can put me in the pulpit if you want. I'm gonna throw a piece of teaching from Revelation.
I believe you when you do it.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's just a little joke, but I'm just a realist.
I get
You
it.
know what I'm saying? And God knew I was gonna bring it real in this season. That's how awesome He is. He knew that He was gonna use me in this season. That's why I had to go through this, that, and all the while He was right there.
Right.
I thought I was the big bad wolf. He was right there to take me through all of this stuff for this day and time to save a generation or generations.
Okay. Martine, you know, I thank you. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up. I want to hear from you, Brother Richard. And then Martine, I want to hear from get a closing remark from you, and then we'll close out, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, my brother. I want to get a closing remark.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, it starts with you all first. And like I say, you know, I just thank God I am here to talk on this studio because I could have been dead and gone. Even out there and even in here.
Right.
And I want to thank you, Montaigne, and the sister for hearing my cry.
I thank
powerful,
you,
man. It was powerful, Richard.
And I want and I want to continue to, you know, keep this going. You know what I'm saying? Rather, you know, we can change numbers and we can video chat one-on-one, but I want this here to continue more.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, like I say, y'all encourage me. And I'm giving y'all what's from inside. So with me doing this from the inside, like I've been told Montaigne, I want to do it on the outside.
Right.
And I'm hungry for it. And I'm hungry for it.
That's it.
I want to start with the schools, even if I have to go in the club, all that.
Right.
They're going to be saying, what's wrong with Richard Boy? Ain't nothing wrong with me because I've been behind the wall and I'm uncut with it and I'm just being real. This is what happened to me without behind the wall.
Right.
Y'all coming in here doing these 2-3 years, it ain't nothing happening to y'all.
Right.
Y'all getting right back out and doing this and that, it ain't touch y'all.
Right.
Them little scratches, what y'all did 2-3 years, that wasn't nothing. I just did this and it touched me right now. I'm just being a grown man now. That was wrong, Richard, but I'm grown now.
Right, I got you.
But like I say, I love y'all, and you know, I want y'all to continue to stay in touch with me, and I'm gonna continue to stay in touch with y'all.
Love you
Will
too,
do. Will do.
Go ahead, Martin.
I just want to say, if you don't use anything else in your life, use your mind. This is where it begins, and this is where it will end. It's according to how you approach it. Gun violence is not conflict resolution.
Okay.
Right.
It's an end to two lives. The trigger man and the bullet the person that the bullet hit.
Right.
Amen.
That's reality. Life for a life. That's reality. Once you use this, see, you got choices that nobody can make for you. No, nobody. You got a choice to walk away, or you got a choice to get caught up. Choose wisely.
Awesome, man.
Well said.
Awesome. Really, do you have anything before we end?
I just want to say I have been enlightened today. I've enjoyed this. I've learned some things today. And Richard, once again, your story, man. I hope this gets shared over and over again so that it reaches some young person to understand that this is not a game.
No.
And like Martin said, this affects two people, two different families. Have to deal with gunplay or any kind of violence.
Right.
Two families are affected.
There you go.
And at some point we got to get tired of it. We got to get tired enough to do something about it.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to say.
You know, I want to say that first of all, I want to thank you, Charisma. Thank you, Minister Martin Jackson. Thank you, Brother Richard, for coming on to being on the show today. And again, like your words were so powerful, Martin. Your words were powerful also. But
I
also,
hope it helps.
Thank you. It does. It does. Trust me. I'm gonna say this right here. There are 4 blocks up here. Let's just say I'm corn, Charisma. You are beans. What you want to be, Martin?
I want to be wheat.
You're a potato.
I want to be wheat.
You're a potato.
I want to be wheat.
Right. And Richard, you ground beef, right? All of these things are good alone, right?
Mm.
But together they make a hell of a soup.
Oh, yes.
That concludes our show. And as we see
That's
it.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for having us and being able to giving us a listening ear or whatnot. Go ahead, Richard. Go ahead.
Didn't mean to interrupt, but I would like for Montaigne to end with a prayer. And I want to say this here. The devil tried to stop this without me talking with the speaker. The devil is a little.
God.
The devil tried to stop.
Yeah.
Damn. The devil tried to stop it. The devil tried to stop me.
And I hope somebody
And
hear
guess
your
what?
story that can go to the parole, the pardon parole board, that can go to any whatever DA or whatever. I hope they can hear your story and help you out of there.
And guess what? I was getting frustrated. I was getting mad. I was getting upset. As the dude trying to help, I was getting straight mad. The devil is a lie. And then guess what? Like, excuse me for interrupting. Like when you told me 6:30, when you told me 6:30, I told the dude, cause we got the same kind of phone. He said, "Dog, boy, it ain't gonna work for 6:30." I said, "What?" I said, "Man, God, DAM." I said, "Dog." And guess what? I timed it. It was like 6:30. It was like 6:37. Y'all start.
Right.
Devil tried.
Yeah.
But that devil something else. He tried.
Yeah.
Where God ordained to live, the devil can't kill.
Amen.
No, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time.
Okay.
He'll come when he comes.
There it is. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me say a little short prayer. Father God, in the mighty name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for this communion tonight. We thank you for Boo McKinley. We thank you for Charisma. We thank you for Richard. We thank you. I thank you for giving me the mind and the knowledge and the understanding to come on and we can collaborate and get our youth to think, to use their minds. That's the first gift that you've given them. Their decision making, the power of choice. Lord, I pray that they choose rightly in this season. I pray that you heal the mothers that are wailing for their children and still grieving their loss. Lord, we ask that you touch each and every one of them, Lord God. And we ask you, God, that you give them comfort with their comfortless, Lord God. Lord, we ask that you touch Richard Lewis's situation, Lord God. You know your timing is perfect. Lord, you perfect your time. And I pray and I decree and declare that those doors will click soon and very soon for him to come home and to his children and his grandchildren and his mother. In the name of Jesus, I thank you, Lord. We give you glory. We give you honor. And we give you all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We're concluding right now.
Okay.
But before you go, I'm gonna tell all three of y'all if we ever need, I'm gonna tell all three of y'all, if you ever need me to talk to someone off the studio screen, just hit me up and let me know.
Okay. I'll hit you up. Love you.
All right, Richard.
Love everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Show tonight. Guys, I thank you. I love you guys, man. I thank you guys for coming on. I look forward to doing this again. We have other topics that we have to do. Again, y'all, everybody, y'all give a shout out to my brother Richard. He gave a strong word tonight.
Yes, he did.
A strong story tonight. Yeah, give a shout out to Minister Martin Jackson for caring enough to help bring this message on accountability.
All right, my
Life for Life LLC. One time for Life for Life LLC. One time for As We See It TV. One time for my brother Richard, man.
I love it.
Love y'all.
I love it.
And good night.
Good night, y'all.